How has Tom Izzo done so far this offseason? What is it like being a fan favorite, and so much more to talk about with? That's right, the one, the only Steven Izzo. This is going to be a fun one. Let's go.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you all so much for tuning in to Locked On Spartans, your team in green and white, 3 days a week in June and July, and then August, and every month after that, 5 days a week. Please rate, review, subscribe. All right. Literally no one wants to hear me talk right now. Everyone is here for the man that is joining us. It is MSU basketball icon, fan favorite, the one, the only, Steven Izzo. Steven, my man, how's your summer going? And thanks a lot for joining the show. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, everything's going crazy. It's a little different not being super busy in the summer and kind of just trying to figure out ways to fill my time and, looking at jobs and trying to figure out what's next for the next 40 years of my life.
Yeah. Just no pressure. Just a little 40-year stretch that you have coming up ahead of you. Look, Jeremy Fears just recently got a red shirt. Do you have your dad also digging around for any extra eligibility from the NCAA office? Is there any hope of one where you're Steven Izzo, or is that window officially closed?
No, I think I've maxed out on credits and all schooling. So unfortunately, I won't be, able to put on the jersey, but I'll still be at all the games and try to do my, give back and be my part of being the coach's son again and not being the coach's son who's playing.
I love that. So look, we're going to talk about your career, obviously, everything that you've gone through the last few years. But look, whenever we talk MSU basketball on this show or online, the main focus has Tom Izzo done enough this offseason? All right. That's what us talking heads do. Or as your dad more affectionately calls us, the idiots on Twitter. That's just the main dialogue the last few months. So what better person to ask than, you, a former player, his son, Steven. Has your dad done enough this offseason, you think, to retool the roster to get ready for another Final Four run coming up?
Yeah, I think that we did a great job with this offseason and just getting the pieces that we needed. It is a completely different landscape of college basketball, and you see people asking for, crazy amounts of money or just making money a priority. And I think we got guys that we trust and, that are going to bring to the table winning and are going to give everything they got and aren't worried about much of the other things and just have the focus on winning and, the culture that we have here and being a part of Michigan State rather than trying to get something else other than a good spot, good landing spot, good place that you can come back to for the next 50 years of your life. And, just that family atmosphere. I think we got our guys that we want.
How about at home? Has your dad done enough in the offseason? Like, how's the mulch looking? Any leaky faucets that he's got to get around to, or has he been delivering?
We're actually redoing our house right now, so we're all kind of just scattered over the place, over the place. So figuring that out, and he's been recruiting. So the month of July, after this weekend, I don't think we'll see him too much, or it will be couple days here and there, but yes, it's weird because during the year it's obviously his busiest time, but then during the summer he just gets screwed over and he's got to be on the road all over the place. So kind of a full, or even worse than a full-time job. It's more of there's no off day. You never know what's going to happen that day. So just crazy schedule we all got going on.
That's something that I've always found interesting and fascinating is yes, he's got the fame. Obviously, he's cemented himself as a legend at Michigan State. There's no secret that, the money comes with it too. But I'm always thinking, when do you get to enjoy that? If you're Tom Izzo, how many off days do you think your dad has per year? Can it be counted on one hand or two hand? Because it's always a grind, it seems like.
Yeah, so he takes no time off. I remember just as a kid, there was things that he was doing, and then it was just I'm just back in the office one day later. It's that's nuts. People don't do that. It's not a common thing. And he's a workaholic. It's insane. Obviously all credit to him. It's very inspiring. I kind of have traits of him, just growing up with him, just go, 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 go. And
Yeah.
now, obviously, just having a little time off, trying to enjoy a little bit of summer, but I get so bored. So I just try to find different things that I can do to entertain myself, or, ask people if I can do anything. Can I power wash your backyard for just no reason?
You're the one renovating the house just out of sheer boredom over there. You're hanging drywall. You're fixing all the copper pipes in the house. I love it.
Not all that. I had to move a lot of stuff, though.
Not to put you on the spot, but like, obviously the retirement question comes up all the time. Like, are even you like kind of in the dark about that just because he is so go, go, go and, work is the only thing he knows?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where, obviously people have to retire at some point, and he's just so go, exactly what you said, go, go, go.
Right.
I think you'd be really bored. But, we got a lot of things in our life. We got a new niece, and, kind of getting to that point where I think he wants to enjoy some family time or whatnot. So, that day's going to come. It comes for everybody, whatever. But yeah, I think it's just day to day. I'm going to try to enjoy as much time, whether it's 1 year, whether it's 10 years, whatever it may be. I'm going to just try to enjoy, the perks of being able to go to games and being able to have the access that I do currently. So just trying to enjoy it and stay in East Lansing and, just take it all in as, it might be winding down, or who knows, it could be 10 years, it could be 5 years, whatever it may be,
Right.
I have no clue. I don't ask that question. It's not really on my radar. I don't think it's on any of our radars, but like everyone, everyone retires at some point. So whenever that may be.
Enjoy the ride while you can, and just keep on like scoring free gear until that pipeline stops. I mean, that's gotta be an awesome perk. I promise we are like going to talk about you eventually. I'm sorry, this isn't how I intended to start the conversation. But just really quick, I mean, as it pertains to next year's team, obviously you were around a lot of these players in the last few years. Who do you see emerging as a leader or some leaders on next year's team? Was there anyone, whether it's a young dog or anyone that's getting up there in seniority, if I could get that word out of my mouth, is there anyone that really stuck out to you as you think will emerge next year?
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy Fears is a phenomenal leader. He's got the leadership traits that you always want in a basketball player or just as in a person. But my biggest takeaway is from my entire life, or just like the last 5 years that I've been apart, we always got guys that we wanted. We didn't get guys that we didn't want. We didn't get guys that, were problems. We always got the guys that, fit our program and fit our style. And I think everyone brings a different thing to the table and has a different, unique background that they can pull together and, just band a team together. Like, obviously I was the worst player on the team, whatever, coach's son, all that. But I think a lot of guys trusted, most of the guys, I'd say all of them. I say it confidently if you went down the line, they all trusted everything I said. They all respected everything I said. Obviously, we went through the same lifts. And I didn't play as much as anybody, but a lot of people came to me for advice, whether it was about basketball, whether it was about life, just to, have those conversations. I try to say that I'm the jokester, not the jokester, but I always try to put a smile on other people's faces, whatever that may be. If it's cracking a joke on someone, or if it's, I just try to distract everyone from basketball, because I think when you get into the season and you're playing basketball 24/7, and obviously the stress you're under, I try to get people's mind off of just like, hey, like have a personality, like give me something different. Like, I know you're a basketball player. Tell me something else you used to do. Oh, you like to ride a scooter? Just tell me about it. Like, I try to get people in conversations that they normally wouldn't have, and try to get that unique experience of getting to know people. And I think that got me to be trusted by a lot of people, as well as, people give me information or things about their life that they grew up doing or whatever it may be.
I feel like I can relate to that in a sense. On a much, 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 much smaller scale, I'm talking like Division VI high school football. All that I was just comedic relief on the team. I mean, if times got tough, which oftentimes they did our senior season, you just got to light up the place a little bit, Just make it a little more lighthearted. So I absolutely appreciate that. Steven, We're going to talk about you next. We're going to make this chat about you, but I'm so sorry. I hate to do this. I got to send you to the sidelines because I need to talk to people's ears off about Gametime, the best ticketing app out there, folks, whether it's Michigan State events coming up this fall or winter, or hey, if you're a Tigers fan, you want to go see the hottest offense in baseball, try to score 3 runs any given night. Well, hey, Gametime is a great place to find those tickets, or for comedy shows, concerts, theatrical performances. If it's a ticketed event, go ahead, find it on Gametime and take advantage of the flash deals, the last minute deals, and also, folks, you will enjoy how transparent it is. This isn't one of those ticketing apps where, hey, great, these seats are $11. Click, 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 click. Oh my, what's this $57 fee doing here at the end of it? No, it is upfront the entire time. It is 2 taps and they are sent straight to your phone. You're saving money. You're saving your sanity with Gametime point blank. Start saving money right off the bat. Download the Gametime app today. Create an account and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Gametime today. It's last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. And let's get him back onto the stage here. It is the one, the only Steven Izzo. And Steven, point blank, look, you've done a lot of media sessions, of course, in your senior year as it led up to senior night specifically. We also talked with Aiden Childs not too long ago, and he's another guy that has done a lot of media. So I'll ask the same question I asked him. What question or questions are you just absolutely sick of answering, fielding? Help me help you, Steven, for this next 15, 20-ish minutes.
So I think that I don't even think you'd ask this question. Well, maybe you will. The most annoying question or question that bugs me the most is when people come up to me and they're like, what's it like having Tom Izzo as a dad? And it's like,
okay,
it's like having a normal dad. Like,
right.
I don't know any different. And I think people don't understand that. It's like, it's not like he was a high school coach and then just became the head coach of Michigan State. Like, I grew up with him. He was already the Michigan State coach, and he's been here for the last, 40 years? Was there 10 years? Now he's going into year 40. It's like, there's no difference between your dad and my dad. And none of my friends, I say, it's more like the random people that ask me that.
Sure.
But my friends are all like, dude, your dad's like a normal guy.
Yeah. It's got, of course, the Upper Peninsula roots, which help too. I mean, yeah, just down to earth. And yeah, that's all you know. So, yeah. Okay, I'll cross that question off. Actually, that was actually my next question. So let's get rid of that one. No, you know what? Over, right leading up to senior night at the Athletic, Brendan Quinn did a fantastic profile piece on you. Just blew us all away, talked about so many things like, having your dad as the coach of Michigan State, adoption, everything about that. After that piece, what was the most memorable reaction that you got from people once that dropped?
I got a lot of emails from a bunch of different people. I got emails from professors at Michigan State, messages from students. I didn't respond to a lot of them. I kind of just read them or just slowly glanced over them, and I took the time. But if I responded to every single one, it'd just be nonstop, and then it's different things. But yeah, it was cool just having people that even I knew that are our family friends that are also adopted that I didn't know they were adopted. They reached out to me, different people in our neighborhood or different people that I know personally that have came up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, we adopted our daughter. It was I don't know, 10-year age gap between me and her. And it's like, oh yeah, we adopted our daughter. And I'm like, I completely didn't know that she was adopted.
Gotcha.
It just didn't go through my mind. But yeah, just family friends that I found out that were adopted as well. Share unique experiences, stuff like that. Not many conversations about it, but quick here and there. When we've seen each other in crossing, we've talked about things. But yeah, just there was a lot of cool messages I got and a lot of, people that reached out to me. And I got both sides. I know some people that have, had a kid that was put up for adoption, and I know other people that were adopted. So been able to have experiences and talk to people throughout different routes and, hear their side of the story. And not normal. I would say not normal. It's normal for people to be adopted, or maybe not normal, but you can find a lot of people that are adopted, but a lot of people don't share their story about how they had to put up a kid for adoption because of things that were going on. And I had a couple Facebook messages from other people and messages from family friends that have talked to me and, got to ask them unique questions and kind of give off what I had or things in my head. And things in their head and, just piece things together and have a good, healthy conversation that way.
Yeah, it sounds like it helped a ton of people in one way or another. But yeah, sure, if you responded to every email and message, like you'd still be doing it right now, just for the last
Yeah,
2 or 3 months
I think
straight.
I think the coolest thing, now that I remember it, I think the coolest thing by far is one of the coolest things I'm not gonna put that out there, but the coolest thing by far is I had many families and family friends that have reached out to me, and their families have put the article in their children's adoption booklet or whatever they got file for whenever that day comes. I know that there's like 1-year-olds or less that have no clue who I am, but it's just a story that they can read. And,
Yeah.
I predict probably in 20 years, people will probably try to find me on social media and reach out and ask questions. And hopefully I can field those. But yeah, it was during the season, so I didn't really get to all of them. But since the season has ended, I've started to get to some of them, and some of them I've just been able to read and not respond to. But I did get a lot of great feedback, and have had people in public come up to me and give me hugs and thank me, and some are crying in tears, and just a lot of good feedback about the story, and people that read the story.
See, like impactful. That's what I'm talking about. That's great. And other interviews that you did too, it was more so about like, the day-to-day or like playing for Michigan State. I believe like in your senior night video, you made a mention to this, and this is like a weird question coming up, but the term like lawn meetings kept happening. It's like sitting through those lawn meetings. Obviously the workouts were tough. The practices are tough. But like that's something that we don't think about as fans a lot, is that like it's not just practice or film, it's also meeting. How long are these meetings? Like I have to know, as someone that is driven crazy by lawn corporate meetings, like how long are you chained up inside of that room for? Being held hostage by your dad in there.
Yeah, we've had some really long meetings. We've had, first halves take an hour plus on film. Sometimes first halves take 2 hours, and you're like,
Okay.
oh my God, we just took 2 hours to watch 20 minutes of basketball. But it's all teaching points. Like it's all necessary. We need to do that. Sometimes it just gets a little long. There's no clock, so you can't really tell. And then we get like breaks here and there. You get out of the break and you see a clock. You're like, oh my goodness, time. It was going as slow as I thought. But just like people don't understand. Like, yes, I got a lot of hate on social media. I don't really care about that. But they're like, oh, well, he doesn't deserve to be there. He doesn't do anything. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I don't do anything on the court, but like I've been at all the practices. I've been in every single lift. I've been in every single meeting. I've gone through every single thing that everyone else has gone through, and it's whatever. But yeah, people just think that I just skip out on all that and just show up to the game or something.
Yeah. You're just hanging out at like Rick's, 7 days a week, and you just show up whenever there's a game going on, right? That's nothing other than that, though. What is the hardest part, though? Like, what was it? The lifts? Because I just imagine that I would die if I had to do any workout regimens. What was the hardest part over your few years, though?
Lifting was when early on, obviously one of the hardest things for me, just not training that to that level, and then just kind of jumping right into it. And then COVID hit and it was all weird. You couldn't really work out. You couldn't do anything. So try to stay in shape there. And then like my junior, senior, and then COVID year, like I love lifting throughout all of that. But like the start of summer, I'd always like puke. And then after my sophomore year, or after that COVID year, I didn't puke in any summer lift. I kind of made it through, whatever, no issues. Everyone joked. I laughed about puking. I don't really care. But yeah, just like the lifting was like one of my favorite things. It was the hardest thing, but it was my favorite thing. Our weight room staff has been phenomenal my entire 5 years of college, and still have great guys. And I think that you're like friends with the people that are pushing you the hardest, but also just like being able to know them and they trust you, and just like share those relationships. That was the biggest thing for me. And those guys, they could tell me to crawl 20 miles and I'd do it just because I trust them so much.
Going back to the film sessions, obviously I imagine that some of these film sessions can get pretty passionate, can get pretty fiery. Was there a moment that you were lit into? Like, is there anything that happened on film that they had to take a break and be like, Steven, what the hell were you doing here? Is there any memories of that from your end?
Not obviously, no, I didn't really play much, but
Sure.
the one that they made an edit after after the game, I airballed the free throw or I hit the backboard.
That's nice of them. Nice.
Yeah, it was at the end, and it was I think it was a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was like him shooting and him bricking, and they had montaged them together, but it was like a 2-minute video of me just bricking a free throw, and they brought whatever the Jackie Moon movie, they brought that into it. It was like a montage of all these basketball movies of people bricking shots, and then it was me. So that they did that. It was funny. Like I wasn't offended by it. I thought it was funny, but yeah, it was like 2-minute montage of me bricking a free throw. So good times though.
Thanks, guys.
Got everyone to laugh.
That's that's awesome. Now, you did make one shot. Of course, we're going to talk about it right here against Rutgers and won. That's right. Putting your name on the map. Steven, how often do you think about that shot? Because if I was in your shoes, that would cross my mind at least once every 10 minutes, every single day ever since that happened.
I don't think about it too much, but people, that's the other thing. People either bring up the story or they're like, I was there for your shot, or I watch a shot on your TV, and, unique experiences that people have shared, like whether it's a video from a different angle or just random things or like a video of people celebrating at home, all that stuff. I don't think about it too much, but yeah, it was one of those like crazy Hail Mary plays, and I made a lot of people happy, or probably pissed off a lot of people, but who cares? Doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, it was a cool experience, obviously, to see the Izzo like that, and I'm gonna be able to share that with my kids for years to come, and be able to brag about it a little bit. But it was a cool experience. So what do you call it? Probably one of my better shots, probably one of my more luckier shots, but it doesn't matter winning. Yeah.
Come on. You're not practicing for nothing during the last few years. Of course there's some skill attributed to that. This next question is a weird one, but I promise I will land this plane. This will make sense later on. There's a lot to, be said about like gambling in college sports, prop bets, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to talk about, is it right, is it wrong? But specifically like getting messages from people, because that was also a big story too of, hey, people get a lot of hate. A lot of these college kids, like they get a lot of messages from angry bettors. Were you ever on the end of that, or any of the teammates ever on the end of that? I mean, in this weird world of sports gambling we have?
I got a couple of them. And I know that obviously people share them from other schools, all that. And it would just be like, well, you guys didn't cover, or whatever they were complaining about. I'm like, well, you're an idiot for betting. Like, that's on you. Like, you could have moved, I don't know. It was obviously in our blowout games of when we played different teams at the beginning of the year, where they'd be like, oh, I moved it to 25. I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, just, that's all I got to say. Like, that was dumb. Like, just different complaints that people make. And sometimes you want to laugh. And then sometimes I just want to be like, kind of a jerk and just screenshot it and then post it and be like, hey, everyone, attack this person. But that was more like the hate mail. I was just like, oh, man, like, I've had some things said to me that are like, that's nuts. And I'm like, man, I could just like screenshot it. And they're like, what do you call it? Like, Spartan fans would just absolutely destroy this kid. Like,
sure, get the dogs out on him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the best is like, I don't know, people will come up to me and go, I could beat you one-on-one. I'm like, okay, like,
great.
And that's all I have to say. I'm like, that's it. Like, all right, like whatever it may be.
So as it pertains to gambling, I'm going to share a personal story here, Steven, and we're going to combine, the points you scored, because you scored also on the day of a Lions playoff game. All right. Okay. I'm a Lions fan. Wanted to go to this playoff game, and sure, locked on. We do get a little bit of money, but they ain't rolling, gold bars up to our house. The $700 tickets were a little hard to afford. So I went on FanDuel, my favorite sportsbook app, and I bet on Michigan State to win 70-55 against Rutgers. It was a $3 bet. It was going to pay off $800. And I said to my friend, if this hits, I'm going to the Lions game. I bet 70-55. The final score was 73-55. Do you know anyone that scored 3 points at the end of that Rutgers game that kept me from going to a Lions game? But no, what happened? Believe me, I'm completely earnest when I say this. I jumped out of my chair when you made that shot, all things considered. And also, they did have 52 points. They just hit a 3 late. So it's kind of the butterfly effect. Who knows if they would have even shot a 3 afterwards. But do you feel bad that I missed the Lions game? Because I just want someone to feel bad about this. That's
No, I'm sure that the Lions will get another chance, and maybe the tickets will be a little cheaper. Because it will
maybe
be,
like
people will get used to it.
Yeah,
people will be used to it, so then they won't have to spend a ton of money on it.
No, so like that was still one of the greatest moments of Breslin Center. Is that the loudest that you've heard Breslin Center after you made that shot, or is there another moment that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I mean Denzel Valentine shot on Valentine's Day. The game against Michigan my senior year we played at home. My senior year of high school, not college.
Gotcha.
I think it was a top 10 matchup, and just like when we ran out of the tunnel, it was over. Yeah, I knew the game was over the moment we ran out of the tunnel, because it was just so loud. And I remember I think that was the first time I met Brendan Quinn. I'm almost positive.
Oh, okay.
I had a couple of my buddies, or I had like 6 people with me, and we were all just like eating pizza in my dad's office, and he came in the back and he was like, "Who's this kid?" It's just like I wasn't there, but all my friends were just eating pizza in my dad's office, and that's just how my dad was. Like when people say like, "Oh, what's it like?" Like he's just a regular dad. Like obviously he's got perks and all that other things, but he didn't care if like I had 50 people of my friends in his office. Not that I have 50 friends, but he didn't care if I had like friends in his office just eating pizza or drinking pop or just hanging out. Like it was an opportunity for him to, kind of go out of coach mode and, go into dad mode and kind of split that difference. And I think that my friends kind of give it, like, I think he thinks that it's pressure, but like my friends all know that he's just a regular dad. When we have a place on water or whatever in Lake Michigan, and he took my buddy tubing when we were young, and he would try to kill us. Like it was just no secret. He'd just try to throw us both off the tube. And I think it's funny because my friends, none of my friends know what to call him. They don't know if to call him Mr. Izzo. They don't know if to call him the coach or Coach Izzo, whatever it is. And my buddy's like, "Dude, your dad's got no chill, like no chill Tom." And so that's my dad's tubing nickname from some of my buddy Josh calls him No Chill Tom all the time. Not to his face, but to me.
He should say it to his face. That's a great nickname. I'm sure that would play with him too. Like I'm sure your dad would appreciate that. That's a great one. So, you know what? You mentioned that, hey, you might not have 50 friends. I got a hard time believing that because it seems like you have somewhere around like 15,000 friends and fans when the game's going on at Breslin Center. Like it's clear that you were like a fan favorite of this team. When did you realize that, everyone just absolutely loved you? What was it very early on in your career, or what was that moment where you're like, this is pretty sweet?
I think a few weeks into my freshman year, I think, people started to like me. I don't know. I like to say I'm humble. I'm very shy, or I'm pretty shy. Okay. I don't really like attention. And I think that, people like me because I'm small. Like, it's all cool. Like, whatever. But I think that just like how I never missed a class at MSU. I was at every class. I walked. I tried to be as normal of a student as possible with, obviously my last name. And I think people enjoyed that, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but I just tried to live a normal, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to walk to class and try to just be normal in that sense, with obviously having a famous dad and, being in a smaller town.
And the spot on the team and everything. So how bad was it when you went into opposing arenas? Like did the hate that you guys would get from opposing arenas, did it outweigh the love that you got from Breslin Center, or which one was stronger, the love from Breslin or what you'd hear at opposing arenas?
So it's weird. I obviously did get hate at arenas, but I'm one to just like, you know what? I'm just going to get the pressure off me. Like I don't hate you. I don't know why you hate me. I'm just chilling. Like, what do you call it? But like, I'd be on the bench and someone would be like, "Oh, that call's terrible." And I just turn to the student section. I'm like, "Yeah, that call was like insane." Like whatever. I'd say something to them, and I would always get like their attention of like a couple people in the front row of like people that were heckling me the most at the beginning, and they're like, you know what, this kid's cool. Like, no more hate for him. So I get a lot
I
of
like
pressure.
that.
I'd have fruit snacks. Our strength coach would have fruit snacks. I'd tell him to bring fruit snacks out to the bench. And we'd literally have a box, and I would just go give them to the student section, and they would just like cool out instantly. Like, I didn't get anything. And then I got some chants from people at different arenas, like Iowa. I have a couple people from like the Iowa University that their student section leaders, like, I still text them every once in a while, or they still reach out to me. But yeah, they cheered for me. Like, Minnesota is my favorite place to play by far, because it's rowdy, but it's like, it's nice. It's not like they're not like going after anybody. They just want to see a good basketball game, but they're all like so nice and, you know, cool responding. I don't know how to explain it, but they were always very supportive, and you know, I think that they have. And the other thing that helps is, like, I think every fan base, whether it's Michigan or Ohio State, like, you could put whatever team. I think every team's got respect for my dad, rather like, they hate Michigan State, but I think that they have so much respect for my dad that they're not going to go after me.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the peace offering idea too. Just start to do negotiation right off the top, just smooth things over. That's some savvy work right there on the end of the bench. I love that. Well, Steven, I've absolutely loved this chat. I really do appreciate your time, your insight. Good luck the rest of the summer. Keep him busy. Hopefully I see you at the next Lions playoff game. I will be smarter with my bets. I will try not to be an idiot, but with how my history is, the bets will never hit. But nevertheless, hope one of us makes it to a Lions playoff game one of these days. But no, can't thank you enough, man. This has been a great time.
I'll leave that to you. I'm a Ravens fan, so.
Oh, come on. Oh, boo.
It's weird. We got family dynamics. So, like, it's like,
okay.
I like the Packers. Packers were like my first team.
Wow.
Lions are up there, but it's like Packers, Ravens, Lions. But wow. I got a weird little dynamic going on.
So is the Packers thing like the UP thing, or was it just like growing up the Lions were so bad that you had to find literally any other team to root for?
So like Brett Favre was growing up like my favorite athlete.
Okay.
And my dad's from the UP, so my dad's a big Packer fan, and
sure,
you can look up the stuff behind it. I don't really know too much, but I know that we have a lot of random Packers memorabilia. But Vince Lombardi actually married someone with the last name Izzo. Not sure how not sure if it's a relation or not, but obviously Izzo's not a very common last name, and just in Wisconsin and or on that border, it's probably relation. So, we got some unique Green Bay things that my grandpa had got from when he was a kid that now my dad and I have. So,
man. Well, good luck to your Ravens, I guess. I'll give you that. At least it's the different division and everything. But the Packers, oh God, absolutely not. No good luck there. Hey, Steven, really do appreciate it, man. Enjoy the rest of your summer. And everyone else, thanks a ton for watching, for listening. Have a great holiday coming up. Let's try to mix in a water every once in a while. Let's get out of this thing safe. But let's also have a good time. Until next time, folks, love you all. Go Green.